The Kreth Empire had ruled the dark corridors of space for 10,000 cycles. Their weapon of choice? The void tunnels, massive wormholes that ripped holes across galaxies, allowing their war fleets to strike anywhere, anytime. To the Kreth, wormholes weren't just a tool, they were sacred engines of domination. The shimmering black throats of these tunnels devoured entire worlds, swallowing planets whole when the Kreth found them undesirable. Civilizations vanished overnight, leaving behind only cosmic echoes. The Council of Kreth believed no species would dare resist. After all, who could stand against an empire that could open a wound in space-time at your doorstep before your telescopes even spotted them? But they hadn't met humanity. We weren't the strongest. We weren't the oldest. We weren't even the most technologically advanced. Yet we had something no Kreth code could predict: the stubborn, chaotic spirit that refuses to see anything purely as a weapon. It started with Dr. Sambi Patel, a physicist on Luna Station. When the first Kreth wormhole opened above Earth, humanity braced for annihilation. Panic spread through every channel. In their arrogance, the Kreth did not even send a fleet. They simply opened the tunnel and let its destructive currents tear at our atmosphere. But as the scientists watched, Sambi noticed something hidden in the spiral turbulence: harmonic ripples, delicate as song notes in a dark room. She hypothesized, what if these wormholes could carry more than ships and ruin? What if they could be tuned? While generals screamed for retribution and doomsday weapons, Sambi and her small team worked in secret. They repurposed graviton pulse arrays to shape the wormhole's edge, using refined plasma filaments like violin strings. Over months, they learned to play the wormhole, to hum through it, to weave patterns of light instead of death. When the Kreth returned to finish the job, they found their tunnel hijacked. Instead of energy siphons and tidal disruptions, they saw rainbows of radiant energy pouring out, a living aurora spilling across orbit, reflecting in the oceans like cosmic ribbons. For the first time, the Kreth paused. Messages flew through their hive channels. These humans had dared defile their sacred weapon, but the shimmering bridges of light were mesmerizing even to them. Curiosity, an emotion long suppressed in their empire, bloomed like a hidden seed. Humanity didn't stop. We sent music through the tunnels, gentle whale songs, old earth symphonies, recordings of street musicians, children singing lullabies. The Kreth military logic trembled. Their soldiers stood frozen, hearing sounds never meant to pass through their mechanical command nets. And then we sent images, paintings, family photos, videos of festivals with bright lanterns. A grandmother's wrinkled hands clasping a newborn's fingers. Dancers covered in colored powders, laughing under warm rain. In one final act, we flooded the wormhole with living light. Millions of small autonomous drones carried seeds, spores, even delicate petals of engineered flowers. They floated out into Kreth space, taking root on cold metal surfaces and barren moons, sprouting bioluminescent gardens where no life had ever dared to grow. The Kreth convoked an emergency council. Some screamed for immediate planetary annihilation. But the High Inquisitors, unable to tear their gaze from the new gardens blooming in space, hesitated. An ancient Kreth war admiral, Utharun, stood silent among the raging voices. Then he rose. "We forged these tunnels as blades," he declared, his voice like distant thunder. "They turn them into bridges. Instead of blood, they send songs. Instead of dominion, they offer warmth. Perhaps they see beyond the dark logic we worshipped." He turned, watching the rivers of human light coursing through their central hub, each beam carrying laughter, stories, seeds, colors. "Perhaps," he said slowly, "these humans have seen a star we never dared approach." And so the Kreth Empire fractured. Soldiers abandoned their black fleets to plant new bioluminescent fields on hollowed asteroids. Engineers learned to sculpt wormholes as passageways for trade and shared celebration rather than war. Artists emerged for the first time in Kreth memory, sculpting light bridges that curved across the void like stained glass wings. On Earth, we stepped forward into those wormholes, not as warriors, but as guests, as gardeners, as companions. Soon, stations of mixed human and Kreth design rose at every tunnel terminus. Shimmering gardens of crystal, drifting marketplaces with soft music drifting between starflower vines. Pilgrims from both species began to journey these bridges of light, each traveler adding a small gift, a song, a carving, a single line of poetry, to the shared river of connection. What began as humanity's last stand became a new dawn across galaxies. Long after, when historians asked how we turned war into peace, they didn't remember the names of generals or the specifications of dreadnoughts. They spoke instead of a grandmother's voice echoing in alien halls, of a single seed blooming on a Kreth warship's hull. And always, always, they spoke of the day humanity took a wormhole, the cruelest blade in the universe, and turned it into a bridge of light.